Time to kill, no hesitate, fighting soldier, Vietnam.
In 2021-2022, the state legislature gave ArtsWA the funding to be able to build this program out. That's when I was brought in to really build this into a true statewide program.
I'm always in search for grant opportunities to put on free or low-cost programming for the community. And I was like, oh my goodness, here's an opportunity for military personnel, spouses, dependents, that coincides with me as an artist as well. I must apply.
To be able to have a program and have something that directly served our military connected population. And so that's where the self-directed art practice grant really came from, was us saying, how can we find a way to work directly with those individuals? Because, you know, they all have talents and skills and abilities that they've fostered over the years of their lives, you know, in the arts. And how can we bring that out? And so that's really where this grant kind of surfaced from.
I have been drumming and dancing since I was about 2 years old. West African drumming and dancing has been a huge pillar in my life. The two in particular that I play more often are djembe drums and the doon doons, which are a set of three. There's the doon doon ba, the big drum in the middle, the sangba, and the kinkini. If you're questioning an opportunity, more than likely you need to just go for it. Apply, look at the eligibility, see if it pertains to you, ask questions, go to the program director and see if it's something that's going to fit your interest.
It's also important that I want to note that there's no other state in the nation that has a program like we have here with the Washington State Arts Commission and the WAM program. There's no other state that has grant funding that gives funds for art projects you know, directly to military connected individuals.
I had this huge empty place in my heart that I needed to fill. And I decided that the way I was going to fill that was to get involved with something and to give back and to give others. And I preferred that I was going to do something to help my fellow veterans to be able to help them in some way. Well, I took inventory of what I was skilled at and what I loved, and what could I possibly do? Well, putting two and two together, that was, well, I'm a songwriter and a musician, and I'm a veteran. So what could I possibly do? I can use music to help fellow veterans and help them heal in the way that I healed, and to hopefully help them get engaged with participating in music to help them get through difficult times like I did.
We know that folks come back with physical and invisible wounds, you know, and not just from serving in combat, but just from service in general, you know. And we know, you know, working here at the State Art Commission at ArtsWA, you know, we know the healing power that art has.
For someone to call you up teary-eyed and telling you and thanking you for getting them into music, because of that, it could very well have saved their lives, because music was something that nobody could ever take away. It was the one thing that they couldn't take away from my buddies. And so they may have still had that guitar, or they held on to that. It took me back a little bit because I was never expecting to hear anything like that. We were having fun, you know, and I was encouraging them to get into music, but to hear that from old friends that it saved their life, it was incredible. This dream that I've had to want to do my own personal music project and record my own songs has always been back burner. Well, I recently had just an amazing opportunity through a grant that was made possible by ArtsWA. I applied for the grant, and I was approved for it. And that set me on my way to be able to finally record some of my songs. I booked Bear Creek Studios up in Woodinville, Washington, which is just an incredible location on 10 acres. For every one of us that spent that weekend up there, it was just such an incredible experience. And I'll tell you what, it was grueling at times. I never knew that. I love to play music. They call me Marathon Man. When I start playing guitar and go from one song to the next, it's hard to stop me. I was good and worn out because these were 4 10-hour days, 4 10-hour sessions that we did.
Really, really neat opportunity, you know, especially for that military connected folks here in the state, but also, you know, for us as an organization, just to see all of the talented folks from all across the state. And I mean, it truly was. I mean, we had active duty, guard, reserve, veteran, military and veteran spouses and children all apply for this program with all of these various different skills.
I got started with this wood medium with another artist who's also a veteran that knows how to use this wood lathe. And I gave him some basic instructions. I wanted an orb shape that was hollowed out and had these natural blowouts. And he created that for me and shipped it to me. This is during COVID, so it was a real interesting partnership project to do. I used this Lichtenberg burn technique that creates this fractal lightning bolt style burn on the wood. It's real randomized, basically electrocuting the wood. And after that, I experimented with inlays, and I used turquoise, mother of pearl, and brass, and used an inlay to set inside the burns, and it turned out beautiful. It turned out great. None of the work that I ever accomplished got that much attention. And when I worked with this wood-turned piece, I won the first place in the National Veterans Arts Festival, and it got a lot of attention, and everyone really loved the work. And I got a lot of accolades and a lot of appreciation for the art piece that I created. So I was really interested in knowing how to actually turn the wood. I already had the technique of making the burns that I like to make onto the wood, and I know how to execute the inlays. I knew those techniques, but I didn't know how to turn the wood and create a bowl shape that would be the canvas for the medium I like to work with. With this Self-Directed Arts Program grant, I was able to purchase a wood lathe and all the individual little tools that it comes with, and some wood, and was able to pay for some training classes at a local wood shop, and learn some basic techniques on how to operate this machine. In trying to learn the woodworking process, I wasn't very familiar with it at all. You know, last time I actually worked with wood in any form like this was high school wood shop. So I didn't have a lot of experience with it. I don't recognize the material very well and the quality of the materials. I haven't learned that aspect of it, and I think that just is going to come with technique and more experience in working with this material. But it's a totally new medium. I've never touched this before. This is a total brand new interest and a pursuit, and I couldn't have pursued this without this grant. There's no way that I could have been able to afford this level of equipment all at once. So I'm very thankful, for sure.
There's so many different disciplines, and not even including like traditional cultural arts too, right? And so to be able to use that as a way to not only heal yourself, but also, you know, connect with others. I think that's a really powerful thing, and that was something that was definitely in our mind when we were creating this grant.
You know, I started off sewing just clothes in the 70s, and I let it go for many, many years. And now that I've taken it back up in the last 5 or 6 years, it has kind of taken over my life, but only in a good and positive way. And like I said, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, to share my love of something with others and hope that it helps them seek a hobby or something that is a respite from their day-to-day life. Embroidery is hand stitching of design, and it is really an ancient art of how we embellish and add design and detail to clothing items, household items. The work that I want to graduate into are original images that I create, and then utilize the machine if it's a high density image that has lots of stitches, like hundreds of thousands of stitches. But I still do a fair amount of hand embroidery as well. When I saw the grant and saw that they were supporting veterans in their artistic endeavors, I wanted to know more. And so I called Brian and talked with him, and he was able to share with me that they did consider sewing and fiber arts in the grant program, and I applied, and I was lucky enough to be awarded one of the grants. With that, I was able to expand my embroidery from primarily hand embroidery to some light machine embroidery to sculptural embroidery. So I purchased the course. I've started doing the lessons in the course, and now I am doing the practice exercises in hope to create sculptural images that sort of reflect not only my veteran heritage, but also my African American heritage, and then use those sculptures to donate them to the nonprofits that I like to support. One of the things that I liked about the grant is because I think that sewing has enjoyed a renaissance over the last few years because of COVID and people being stuck in their home and looking for hobbies. I would like to see it continue because it's a great sort of venue or a great sort of way to express yourself, and also it has had a very good calming effect on me and helping me with my anxiety, and I think a lot of veterans would benefit from that. So in that sense, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, so that others can see that you can kind of take a break from the things that cause you anxiety. I can't wait to get up to my craft room, and in supporting this kind of expression of art, I think that it can go a long way of helping other veterans deal with the residual effects of their day-to-day lives and their anxiety-producing past. I think that the grant is such a great program, and I have lots of friends that wish that their state was doing something similar to help veterans with their issues. So it's been very, very encouraging for me.
So we opened this up in the wintertime, and we received 89 applications from all across the state, with so many different art disciplines, and it was really, really cool to see all of those different skill sets that people were bringing in and wanting to either hone or be able to practice what they were doing, get equipment for things that they weren't able to previously do before, to learn a new skill. I mean, we've had painters, dancers, woodworkers, musicians, filmmakers. We even had a magician who applied, who wanted to learn a new type of magic and do training for that. So it was really neat to see all of these different things, and people, part of the application process is you send in art samples and show, what kind of work you've done in the past and how you want to use this funds to apply it towards that practice. So the state legislature allocated money for us to have this program. They gave us over $1 million to create this program in 2022, and they approved it for us again, for this next fiscal year. So it's at least going to be around for another year, and as long as they are generous and want to continue to fund us, this is going to be around.